Today we're making my sourdough American flag cake. It's a light and fluffy lemon sourdough cake topped with a homemade whipped cream frosting that's stabilized with a little bit of cream cheese, and then we're adding blueberries and raspberries on top as the design. It's really easy, it's simple. Let's go make it. To start this recipe, we'll need to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, as well as butter and flour a stainless steel medium rimmed pan. This is approximately 12 inches by 9 inches. You're just going to grease the entire pan with butter, the sides included, and then sprinkle flour on top, and then you'll just want to tip it upside down in the trash or over a bowl, and then that will get any excess off. And then we're just going to set that aside. At this time, you'll also want to get out one 8-ounce block of cream cheese. I like to use a plain cream cheese for the frosting. That way it's softened and ready to go. At this time, I also like to prep my lemon zest, so you're going to want to grab 2 lemons. I like to use organic, and then I like to rinse them off and dry them with a kitchen towel, and then you're just going to zest them. I like to use a microplane, but you could use even a grater or something similar, and then we're just going to set that aside for now. To begin our cake, we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of avocado oil into a mixing bowl, as well as 3/4 of a cup of raw cane sugar. You could also use regular sugar or coconut sugar. And then we're just going to mix this with an electric mixer on low speed for about 2 minutes until it's a little creamy and fluffy. Next, we're going to add in the 2 eggs. So you're going to add 1 large egg at a time, mix it on a low speed until completely combined, and then you'll add the next one and do the exact same thing. Now we'll add in 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, 1/4 of a cup of sourdough discard. You could also use Fed starter, 3/4 of a cup of milk. I like to use whole milk, but you could use any. 1/2 of a cup of sour cream, 1/2 of a teaspoon of sea salt, 2 tablespoons of lemon zest packed into the measuring spoon, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Then we'll add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I like to use aluminum free, 1/2 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and then we're going to mix this on a low-medium speed for about 30 seconds until everything is combined. I forgot to mention you do not need to let these items come to room temperature. You can use them cold in this cake recipe. If you'd like to do a cold ferment by placing the batter in the fridge for 12 to 24 hours so the sourdough cultures can ferment everything, leave out the baking powder and baking soda until just before baking, then stir them in. Next, we will add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I like to use organic unbleached, but you can use any. We're going to add that in and mix it just until combined. Do not over mix this on medium speed. When you've got it mixed together, you can pour the cake batter into our greased and prepared sheet pan and then spread it out evenly with a spatula to fill the entire pan. Now we're going to pop our sourdough cake in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 22 to 25 minutes, or until it's completely baked all the way through. You want to make sure the center is baked before you pull it out of the oven. When your cake comes out of the oven, it should be completely baked. A toothpick should come out clean and the center should look set. So we'll take our cake out of the oven and let it cool in the pan for 15 to 20 minutes. After it's slightly cooled for about 15 to 20 minutes, you'll use a spatula to loosen the edges around the cake. Then we'll place a piece of parchment paper on top, and then you'll want to use hot pads or a kitchen towel because the pan will still be hot to flip the pan so the parchment paper is now on the cooling rack and the pan bottom is facing up. Tap the bottom of the pan to help loosen the cake and gently remove the pan off the top. The cake should come right out. If it doesn't, use your fingers to get one edge started, then let the cake completely cool before frosting on the wire cooling rack. While the cake cools in a medium-sized mixing bowl, add 1 cup of cold, heavy whipping cream. I like to use organic for no additives, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of raw cane sugar, and 2 ounces of plain cream cheese. You'll want to use an electric mixer on medium speed to whip the ingredients together for 2 to 5 minutes until stiff peaks form. This means the whipped cream stays on the whisk and doesn't drop off. Please be patient, it takes a little bit of time to thicken, especially if you're using organic heavy whipping cream. When it's done, set it in the fridge until the cake is completely cooled. Once the cake is completely cooled, add our whipped cream frosting on top and spread it with a butter knife or a spatula to evenly coat the entire top. You can leave the sides bare. Now we're going to rinse some blueberries and strawberries. It's about 1/2 of a pint of blueberries and 2 pints of raspberries, and then you'll want to rinse them with water and dry them off with a kitchen towel. If you don't want to use raspberries, you can do strawberries cut in half. To make our flag design in the top left corner of the cake to create the blue star area, place the blueberries close together in the rectangle. Now to make our stripes, we're going to add our raspberries. I like to do 4 stripes, 1 starting at the top, 2 in the middle, and 1 stripe at the bottom. To do this, you can also use your strawberries cut in half, but I like to use the raspberries. Either way, whether you're using strawberries or raspberries, stagger them so they create one solid line rather than all the tops of the berries being at the top of the stripe and the bottom of the berries at the bottom. You'll want to rotate them so it creates one solid line. Do this to make all 4 of our stripes. When you're done with that, you'll want to use a butter knife to make a textured stripe in between the red stripes. So I like to just take the knife horizontally across the cake a few times in between the stripes. And that is how you make my sourdough American flag cake. This cake is best enjoyed immediately, but will last up to 3 days in the fridge. Store in an airtight container to prevent excessive drying out. And that is how you make my sourdough American flag cake. I hope it finds a special place on your table this 4th of July, or you can make it for Memorial Day, Labor Day, Flag Day. It's just a fun recipe to make during the summertime. If you like another 4th of July recipe, definitely check out my flag taco dip. I'll leave it here or here. It's so delicious. Definitely go check that one out as well. Until next time, go serve God by loving your family one recipe at a time.